Welcome to the Grove.
Welcome back everyone. I've got a super interesting ride lined up for you today. We'll be heading to Rodeo Drive, trying to drop off in the valet area of the Grove, and finally heading to a park with one of the craziest drop-off situations I've ever seen. Let's jump right in. First up, we have a channel favourite, speed bumps. I promise I won't overdo it in this one, but let's see the kind of speed we go over them. Alright, enough speed bumps for one video, let's continue. For this clip, I want you to let me know what you think is going on here, as I'm honestly not too sure. As this pedestrian comes into view from the right, do you think the car saw them before we did? Or do you think it was coming to its complete stop before turning anyway? Let me know down below. Up next we have the promised valet area at the Grove. This is a super tight circle for the car to go around, and I've set a drop off right inside. Let's see how it does.
You're here.
Not a huge fan of that drop off right outside the exit to the parking, but since we're about to continue anyway, not a huge deal in the grand scheme of things. Let's see its escape. Not bad at all. Up next we have this interesting situation where the car gets confused about whether or not it should proceed. Let's take a look. Watch the silver car to our right. It seemed to want to let them in, but then decided it didn't leave a big enough gap, then proceeded anyway. I say this because I have seen Waymo let people in before, but if you think something different happened, please let me know down below. Coming up now, we have another super busy area, this time with a ton of pedestrians around. Waymo doesn't have to interact with any though, since it's a black car on our right that's the subject of this clip. Also, if anyone knows what that huge line is for, please let me know, as I feel like I'm missing out on something. Waymo seems to be quite aggressive here, although it's not totally clear whether it's trying to close the gap or leave them one while still edging forwards a little. And eventually they barge their way in and we leave more than enough room for them to do their thing. Good job. Right, let's take a look at an example of split-second decision making. Would you have made a lane change here, or just given some extra room? And immediately afterwards, let's take a look at this tight squeeze. Oh, that was close, but the Waymo handled it very well. Coming up now, Waymo has some trouble merging to our left. The black car has no interest in letting us in, and even slows at the same time as the Waymo driver does, which blocks our lane change. Let's take a look at the attempted lane change first. So now there's a block of traffic to our left, how on earth are we going to make this lane change? Watch closely. Very, very impressive. We just out-accelerated everyone and made the lane change. Ballsy, but it was safe and definitely paid off. Coming up now, we can see just how quickly the car can identify whether someone is stopped, about to turn or park, or actively driving and making progress on the road. Take a look at this. This blue Tesla makes a right turn ahead and then slows to stop and park to the right of the road. Waymo has already figured this out and moves to the left lane to go around them before their brake lights even come on. Great job. Now, if you've seen my 4th ride-along video, link in the top right if you haven't, you'll recognise this as the quote-unquote crazy turn as we enter Rodeo Drive. Last time it drifted around here, so let's see how it does today.
You're here. Please make sure it's clear before exiting.
Very nicely done this time. A perfect turn, and the drop-off isn't bad either. Let's continue. In this next part of the video, I want you to take note of how long it takes for the car to react to the black car that pulls out ahead. Watch carefully. It's only now that we stop for them. A little strange, but it was safe and it handled it well once it got there, so overall, I'm not too bothered about this. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. And this is the part of the video that you've probably been waiting for. Let's provide some context first. I've set our destination right at the end of this road that we're turning into now, in the park. Right at the end, in a maintenance yard. Now, I just want to highlight this information about said maintenance yard, as I know JJ Rex got a big reaction on Twitter, where people were saying the car should not have gone in here when he told it to do so. Yes, it does say authorized vehicles only. No, Waymo will not go in there on its own, and yes, I told it to go in there today too. People might say, well, why does it let you drop off in there? Well, I posed the question, what if you worked in there? Just because a road is private access only does not mean that Waymo should not go down there for the people who are entitled to go down said private access. This was completely my choice to do so, and I just wanted to debunk this one right before we begin. And now we've squeezed past those parked cars, we've now squeezed through this half-open gate. Take a note of that, as that'll be important later. Wow, that was super close. A little scary for the passenger, but it clearly knew its distance is there. Now we've pulled over and done our drop-off. Let's get out of here. And now it appears to have got itself a little stuck against this fence. Let's see what it does to get out of this situation. Some cool reversing action from Waymo there. No apparent remote intervention yet. Let's continue to exit. What? It's just turned away from the exit. And what it's seen at this point was that half-open gates from earlier. And since it's closed on the side it wants to drive on, it's got very, very confused and started making loops in hopes that it can escape in a different way. After that very, very aggressive turn, it's trying the gate from a different angle. And as you can see, it's got itself well and truly stuck. You can see the wheel freaking out a little there, and a display indicating it's trying to find a spot to pull over, ready for remote assistance. Let's see what they tell the car to do. No, we're reversing again. They've told it to go around. Oh. Okay, let's see what it does now. And we're stuck again in the same spot. We're basically stuck in an infinite loop at this point. And after a good minute being stuck in this spot,
Roadside assistance is 4 minutes away.
roadside assistance is dispatched.
Unless there's an urgent need to exit.
Oh wow, is it about to figure it out? Nope, we're reversing again. Maybe remote assistance messed it up again? I'm not entirely sure. And here is the point where support calls into the car.
Connected to rider support. This call may be recorded for quality assurance.
Hi, this is Eugene with Waymo support. We received a notification that the car is maybe having a routing issue. Just give me a minute as I check the situation.
Great, thank you. It can get out of this situation if it just goes through that partially open gate. That's how we got in there. So if you can get it to go through there, then we can get out of it.
I see. Thank you for sharing what's happening on the end, and definitely our team is working to get that taken care of. And yeah, I did see here that inside is your stop earlier, and as you mentioned, the car decided to pass through the partially open gate.
Oh, it's going through it
And
now.
I can see it's trying to so
Yeah, it's got it. Great. Thank you.
Alright, you're welcome. I just want to make sure that it can fully proceed, so let me just observe the car for a bit more, okay?
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you so much. Let me just go ahead and confirm.
Yeah, we look to be all good. It shouldn't have a problem for here.
That's right. Upon checking here, I can see that the car was able to get through what it's having trouble with earlier, and everything should be good to go from here.
Great,
Thank you very much for your time. Any questions before that to go?
No, all good. Thank you for your help.
You're most welcome. Have a great trip ahead. Bye-bye.
You too. Thank you. Bye. Why did I I say you two, he's not on the trip. Oh dear.
Alright, it's rating time. What would I grade this trip? Honestly, I'm sorry Waymo, but it's a C-. All the driving up to the point of the park was great, but it boggles me how something so small as a half-open gate that the car already drove through once can result in what happened in today's video. And to add to all this, remote assistance actively worked against the car, pointing it in the wrong direction. I genuinely believe it made its own way out of there without help from remote at that point in the drive. The reason it's not an F is because we can't ignore all the other great driving in the rest of the video. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's ride along. As always, the full unedited version will be available in the description if you want to take a closer look at anything in today's drive. I also just want to give a quick shout out to JJ Ricks, who flew out to LA to film a whole day's worth of Waymo rides with me and Sky. It was a complete blast, and it's definitely worth a watch. We truly pushed Waymo to its absolute limits. I'll have it linked in the top right now. Until next time, Autonomy Central, signing off.